streams these days. It used to be so much easier, and now I always get it wrong. I tried to set this up and somehow I set it up vertically and to go live with someone else. How did I do that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to be doing my makeup today with my makeup bag of stuff that I have put aside for Hong Kong. So it's just a bit of a tester. Have I got everything that I need in this bag is the main thing. I've already done most of my skincare. I did my oils, I did my SPF. Also, I bought this oil on Amazon yesterday, this Q&A squalene facial oil, because you know how difficult it is to find facial oil. Facial oil's just like become obsolete in the world of skincare, it seems like. I use this Pixie Vitamin C priming oil every time I do my makeup, and I love it. If you've got kind of combination, I would say if you've got oily skin, oil. I don't know how it works, I don't know why, but it does. Anyway, I want to get into a topic of conversation today that I was kind of chatting a little. I was like, what's that noise? It's outside, it's fine, it's not within. Hello, thank you for joining us. I say us, it's me and probably 2 other people at this point. Let me just see if my window's open, because that could get really loud. Hi, Tracy. No, my window's not open, but it is loud. Hopefully you can't hear it quite as loudly as I can. So as I was saying in the beginning, before you guys joined, I am testing out a little makeup bag of things that I'm taking with me on holiday, and I just wanted to make sure I've got everything, and it seems as good a time as any to do a little chatty get ready with me. This is my current everyday makeup, and we will talk a little bit about the topic in the title, which was something that came up on Instagram today because I was watching YouTube on the TV, and this is relevant because when I talked about it, lots of you commented and said it's worse on the TV than it is on your phones, because I watched YouTube and it was insane. It was like a 12-15 minute video, and every 2 minutes there was an ad. It was just like, it was too many ads for the length of the video, I felt like. And I got so many different comments off the back of saying, do you feel like, as a viewer, YouTube is kind of ruining itself by adding all these different ads? I got so many different kinds of comments that I thought it might be worth chatting about. One of the comments was that they thought, yeah, definitely worse on the TV. I 100% agree. So it's something that I'd just not been as aware of until today, and I was like, wait, what? This is crazy. And it's also bank holiday relevant. So this person said they thought that creators chose the ads and that they individually paid for the ads. So it was worth kind of getting into this for this reason anyway. We don't choose the ads. I don't ever change the ads at all. I do have the option of going in to each individual video and deciding placement. So if, for example, I did a video and I was like, we'll be back after this break, I could specifically put in an ad slot there so that fit well. So you may have seen videos like that and thought, oh, well, of course they do decide. That is an option. You can do that. You can also choose to have more ads or less ads. I have left everything completely automatic. I haven't changed anything. So everything on my video is just like whatever the standard is, whatever the standard untouched thing is, because I just don't want to mess with them with the risk of like making it worse, like getting a crazy number of ads or getting no ads at all and then I get 0 revenue. So I thought I'll just leave it with the standard automated ads, and it is what it is. But this person thought that I individually was like approving, not me, but all creators was approving all the ads that were shown on the videos, that I was being paid individually for those ads, and that we could choose how many ads were in the videos, and that's not true. Another couple of people said that they had noticed that some videos had no ads at all, some had like 5, 10, some crazy number of ads. It's all dependent on the viewer. So if you're watching, like if I'm watching my YouTube account and Lee's watching his, we watch the same vlog, we'll get not only a different number of ads, but there will be different ads because they're targeted to you. Usually, you know, as we know, they can be not targeted and not very good at all. But in theory, they are targeted to the viewer and they've got nothing to do with the content. It might be targeted to the viewer because of the content they're watching, so it could be relevant, but often it's more about you than it is about the video that you're watching. And sometimes you'll get no ads at all. If you watch really late at night, you might get a lot less ads, because the advertisers will, oh man, like how do we, I'm doing it in a weird order. We should probably start from the beginning. So when you place a video on the platform, you can say, you know, we have ads or we don't have ads. At that point, there are potential slots available for YouTube to sell to advertisers. So imagine it is a newspaper and they say we've got like 3 pages of ads. You can have little ads, you can have big ads, you can have long ads, you can have whatever. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much it's going to cost for this newspaper, which has this not much reach. This is what it's going to be if you do it alongside this story, which is about something that is relevant to your product. It's all to do with like, what's the most valuable space? And that could be something to do with the topic. It could be to do with the reach, the amount of views. I've said before, I've got videos that have got very few views, but have made loads more money than ones with loads of views. So the topic then is more valuable. If I talk about, if I do a beauty haul, for example, that will make more money than if I did a video just talking to you guys about a topic, because it's easier to sell that as a packaged, well, this is about people buying beauty products, so you want to advertise along this, you know? So it's so much more random than it seems. Wait, let me go back. Lots of people said they were paying for YouTube Premium, which I get. And I kind of think that they're almost overdoing it with the ads at this point to push you to pay for YouTube Premium, because they can control that. As a business, YouTube can control the money that they're earning from YouTube subscriptions. They can't really control the ad revenue, because at any point the advertisers can be like, no, we're not paying for this anymore. So they want to make their business model more based on subscriptions, the same as all streaming platforms. So maybe what they're doing is overselling the ads so that we all are pushed to do the YouTube Red, you know, or whatever it's called now. Worst thing they could do is try and push me into something. I'm so stubborn. Exactly. 100% the same. 100% the same. Late at night, I often get trailers for horror movies, then I don't sleep. Yeah, that's not for me at all. That sounds terrible. But you might get less adverts generally late at night, because that ad spot is not as valuable, because you're thinking, well, not as many people are going to see it. And, you know, these people maybe are not necessarily going to be our target audience. Neve says the ads are run via Google Ads and the advertiser basically selects what they want to target. Yes. You don't necessarily choose the YouTuber. It's more about the signals, as Google calls it. Yeah. So you've got like spots. They don't decide the YouTuber. They don't decide the video that it goes on, but everything's put into like a category, and they will decide, you know, maybe one of my videos goes into like category B, and that's worth this much for a spot in that. That's kind of how it works. However, I just feel like it's too many. And I feel like as a viewer, there comes a point where you're like, I can't keep watching this platform when we've got used to ad-free viewing, you know? It's too much. It's too much. So while I was watching it this morning, I thought this is such an interesting juxtaposition, because my husband hates ads. Hates. Timu's advertising budget is seemingly unlimited. 100% agree. I've never seen more adverts than I have for Timu. It's crazy. Also, they contact people, or like, I've never had so many emails from one company like, will you work with us? Will you work with us? I'm like, how are you making money? It feels like surely you're not making money. But, you know, clearly they are, and it's not in a good way. But my husband hates ads in general, and yet he consistently says that he thinks he could do away with all TV, like everything, and just watch YouTube now. He watches YouTube like that is his primary source of entertainment. He just watches YouTube on the TV. And it kind of baffles me a little bit. And then I thought, well, I wonder if the vlogs and the content that he's consuming is just less ads. I wonder if it's just that. Because I don't get it. It feels to me like he would be one of the first people pushed off the platform because he hates ads so much. And yet there he is, just all about it. Whereas I could definitely, especially watching on the TV, it would definitely push me to be like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not watching this anymore. This is driving me crazy. Although I did see something the other day, someone was saying that they'd done something with YouTube where they said if they got a certain number of members, you know, like now you can get people to join your YouTube channel and kind of like a subscription. So for example, if I said I'm going to do a membership model and you guys give me 99p a month, whatever it is, of which if you do those things for people, you should also know they don't get that whole 99p. I think they get like 50% of it or something. It all boils back to YouTube. But I did see someone the other day say that if they got a certain number of members effectively paying for their content, that they would turn off all ads on their channel. And I thought that's quite interesting because again, YouTube are definitely making money from that person doing that. But then why would you do that and not just pay for YouTube advertising? Maybe that then comes back to what we were talking about. Like if, let me turn my screen back on, if they're going to push us to do something and we feel like we're being forced to do something from YouTube, we'll rebel against it. Whereas to give one individual money directly, we feel better about because we don't feel like we've been pushed into it. But then how do we know that YouTube didn't get that person to say that? It all becomes a conspiracy. YouTube is my main source of entertainment. I don't watch TV. Happy to pay for premium. So that I understand. That I totally understand. We pay for like all the stuff, all of the things. I have a subscription to everything I could possibly have a subscription to. And I think my husband probably, if it was just him, would pay for YouTube Premium and not have anything else. So yeah, that does make sense. I don't mean my proper ads so much, but Instagram is driving me mad at the moment because every other post in my feed is Temu or Temu sponsored. Do you know what's really weird? I don't think I get a lot of Instagram ads. I always make a joke with my friend when we're together. I look on her Instagram feed because I'm like, come on then, let me look what you've been looking at recently. And it's always a really good reflection of things that we've been talking about, of like she's looking at lashes or she's looking at whatever, and her feed is all ads. And it's at those times that I go, I don't feel like I have a lot of ads in my feed. And I don't think I have a lot of shopping ads in my feed. Unless they are subtle. You know, like they're not really obvious Instagram ads and they are more sponsored content from creators rather than shopping. I wonder if maybe that's that. Your phone listens to you and your ads are tailored. It's unable to listen if your microphone settings are turned off. That's interesting. I tell you what was quite funny recently. We've started watching Friends from the beginning, which I highly recommend. We're watching it with Milo, who's never watched Friends before, so even better. I mean, I don't know where you're going to find someone who's never seen Friends before, because you're going to have to birth someone. But it's been really fun to watch with Milo from the beginning, because he doesn't know what happens at all. Like, we're watching literally season 1 and he's saying to me, Paolo arrives. And he's like, I'm like speaking a bit quieter in case he hears me talking about it. Paolo arrives and he's like, oh my God, he's such a dick. It's like, are you telling me that Ross and Rachel will never get together? And I'm like, I am not telling you anything. It's the best. But we've been watching Friends from the beginning. And Friends wouldn't be that crazy because Friends is still very popular. But we've also been watching Will and Grace. And I am suddenly being served reels, not ads, but reels on Instagram that are Will and Grace and that are Friends. Like, there's no way that's not related. I'm not Googling things to do with them. I'm not, but I'm in the room with it. We are talking about Will and Grace on a regular basis. And so there's no way that that's not a thing that is happening, because who gets Will and Grace reels? I didn't even know they existed. Suddenly I'm getting Will and Grace. I just think it's weird. It's weird. It's not just ads. It's across everything. Your phone is listening to you and it's serving you content to keep you on all of the platforms as long as possible based on everything it knows about you And some of that information is obtained in a way that you wouldn't want to. Adverts in ASMR videos completely ruin the experience. Ooh, yes. That's weird. You would think that if something was labelled as ASMR, they would have very specific ads, or maybe have ads only at the beginning. Also, if you were an ASMR creator, I know I said at the beginning, like, I keep everything automatic and just standard. But if you were an ASMR creator, you could turn off mid-roll ads, which is like anything that's not at the beginning or the end. That would be, I'm going to totally turn off my microphone settings. That's going to be really interesting, Tracy. But I think if I was someone who's creating videos like that, like ASMR, I would probably look at my settings for the ads, because you're right. You want someone to be really, what's the word I'm looking for? Immersed in that content. And by kind of switching them off in the middle, that's a weird one. It would be like Pornhub having ads in the middle of the porn. I don't know if they do that, but I assume they don't. It would be a weird moment to break away for an ad. I'm kind of surprised that ASMR creators don't do that, unless they don't know, because, you know, it's not something that is super obvious when you come to create the video. It's not like a big thing. It's not while you're uploading the video, it doesn't go like, where do you want the ads? You've got to go into like advanced settings and know that they're there to begin with. So maybe they just don't know. But it is a strange one. Are you Spotify Premium for ASMR or background noises? Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, Neve says you can click on the ads to see why you're being served them. For example, it will tell you the advertiser wants to target women of an age in your area. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. That's fascinating. I would love to know why I'm getting certain ads. Oh, also, I'll tell you a funny thing. My husband gets ads frequently for Boohoo Man. He's never shopped on Boohoo Man, ever. And he'll say to me, look at this ad, because the first 3 or 4, it'll be like a carousel. First 3 or 4 in the carousel will be just like regular stuff, like, oh, that's a nice jumper, that's a nice t-shirt, there's some nice shoes. And then the 4th or 5th, whatever the last one is, like a mankini, or like a day glow thong, or something rhinestone. And he's like, what is this? Why would they show me this? And I said, because you've shown it to me. It's done its job. Like, that's intentional. They hook you in with like, oh, these are nice things, and they know that you're gonna scroll to the end because they know our behavior, and they know that when you see something that is like, whoa, that doesn't fit with anything else, you're gonna show it to someone. You're gonna show it to someone that sat next to you, or you're gonna screenshot it and post it somewhere, or send it to someone, and then they've basically got at least 2 people to see that advert instead of just the one that they've paid for, because you've been so surprised by the final thing. And that's how they get you. It's how they get you. It's interesting, but that doesn't annoy me as much as YouTube ads. That's more of a lol. I'm not really annoyed by targeted ads on Instagram either. I'm not really annoyed about ads anywhere else. It's just the like either unskippable ads or the ones that are like, oh my God, this is going on forever. The ads that are, we've just had an ad, seriously, are we going to do another one? And the ones that are really, really long when I'm watching and I'm not able to easily skip it. So, you know, like if I'm cooking and I've got like my hands like dirty and I can't touch my phone, or if I'm in the bath and I'm not at a distance where I can skip, stuff like that is annoying. It is annoying. But then I guess that is the whole thing now. Once they made it available to be ad-free, kind of lost the right to complain about it, because it is a free platform. The content is created for free. Obviously, there is revenue being shared with the creators. I mean, if at the moment, for example, I'm making videos on my gaming channel, that is not I don't get anything. I haven't reached the correct stats and stuff. You need a certain amount of subscribers, you need a certain amount of, a lot of watch hours. It's like 4,000 watch hours, which is a lot in a 365-day period. And I think a 1,000 subscribers. But my point is, I've made a lot of content. I've made hundreds of hours worth of content on that channel and haven't made a penny. So I was going to say, obviously, you know, there is money being made and these content creators are being compensated for making the content, and although it's a free platform, you're watching the ads. But I wonder what the volume is of creators on YouTube who YouTube are making money from and the creators are making nothing. Because if you posted one video and it just happened to do really well, and you just posted that one video, chances are you'll never make any money from that. It could get 1 million views and you may never make any money from that. But YouTube will, forever, because it's just there forever unless you take it down. So I would be kind of interested to see what the numbers are on, I don't know. It can't be that. It can't be the majority. But it would be kind of interesting to know how much money is YouTube making where the creators are making literally nothing. Because any of my gaming videos that you watch, until I reach that threshold, I make no money at all. This is just a fun thing that I really enjoy doing. At some point it may be monetized, maybe it won't, but it's a fun little thing that I do alongside my content that is monetized. But I mean, I did it with all my channels. I made 100 videos, I think, and this is back in the day. This is early days of YouTube, 2010. I made 100 videos. I was on YouTube for 6 months making really consistent videos before I made a penny. And I was working full time. I had a child, you know, it wasn't just, you know, I wasn't a kid in my bedroom with nothing else to do. It was something that I was really enjoying doing, but I was not making money and YouTube was. So it's kind of an interesting thing. What games do I play? It's mostly like cozy games. So it's quite a fun little kind of niche that has been created in the past probably 10 years, but become really popular since lockdown, of like Animal Crossing. Cozy, I would say, really refers to games where there's no pressure. Like, things don't have to be done by a certain time. For the most part, there's no combat. It can be strategic, but there's no like, oh, I've got to do this. If you don't play for a couple of days, nothing terrible happens. That kind of thing. There's a really cool, fun little game called Parlia that was launched quite recently. I know we got off topic now, but I'll talk about it. Launched quite recently, that is like the first cozy MMO, which is like a multiplayer, but I can't remember what it's called. It's like massive multiplayer something like that. It's, you know, like Fortnite, how everyone logs into the same game and they're all playing all together, like that. But again, there's no pressure of this has to happen at this time. So it's cozy. It's cute. I really like that. And that's what I do. But I assume there are ads that play on those videos, and I didn't put them there, and I don't get anything for it. And if anything, if you were watching one of those videos and you were served like an abnormal number of ads and you were like, oh, this is so annoying, I could lose people from the channel and from the video with absolutely no benefit to myself at all, because I'm not getting anything for it. So, you know, it is an interesting topic. And I do think, as soon as I said it on Instagram this morning, like, do we think that is this ruining YouTube? As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, they're doing this on purpose. They're pushing us away. They're pushing us away from well, they're pushing us away from YouTube, I suppose. But I wonder how many people they would have to lose by doing that for it to still be worth it for the rest of the people to just give in and pay for the YouTube Premium. I wonder. I feel like that's not the cleanest job I've ever done. I just wanted to do like a little bit of something eyeshadow, but pretty basic still. How much is YouTube Premium? I just won't do it. I won't do it. I was considering, I mean, I can't share it with him because we have our own stuff that we watch and it would drive me crazy. It's like we share Apple Music, and our Apple Music, you know, like if we had a Spotify Premium at the end of the year, it would tell me all the things we'd listen to. It would be mostly the most random music that Lee listens to. We already share that. I can't share my YouTube as well, the listings and stuff. It would drive me crazy. I just want to know what I'm into. I want it to tell me what I want to see. It's hard enough to get recommendations of things that you've already told them you want to see without sharing your preferences with everyone else. But I was considering doing that for his birthday. So how much actually is it? Oh, you don't think that it's gotten worse recently, but you're used to lots of ads. I wonder if it's because I'm like this morning I was watching on the TV and I don't usually, but also it's bank holiday. So today everyone's at home, potentially, everyone's at work at least, and they're all, you know, watching stuff. And this is a good day to pay for a lot of ads. It's like over the Christmas period. At the end of summer, you tend to get a lot of ads because that is like a big advertising period, a big shopping period. And at the end of the year, obviously for Christmas and stuff. For all people in the household, it's £18. Oh, you can get 6 people. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. So you can have multiple accounts covered with £18. That's expensive. That is expensive, but I thought it was like for one account. No, that is expensive. I know that people do it because at the end of the month, when I get my like revenue report, it tells me how much. Oh, it's £20. That's crazy. When I get my revenue report at the end of the month, it tells me how much of that revenue comes from YouTube Premium. So you still get a percentage of YouTube Premium, but I have no idea whether or not as a creator I make less or more money if people don't have ads. Like, do they still give me what would have been the equivalent? Because how do they know? How can they possibly know what I would have made? Because they're not having, I'm not going into like the bidding for ads thing. I suspect that YouTube Premium is good for YouTube, bad for the creators, and as we've said, just so expensive. It feels really cheeky. It feels like if they were going to do this, they should have allowed creators to have their own, you know, like if you don't want ads, you can pay directly to watch my videos and it costs like, I don't know, £5 a month and you can watch this person's videos without ads. Because I wouldn't mind necessarily watching some videos with ads, you know, like, oh, I occasionally watch these channels. So if they've got ads, that's no problem. But I watch every single one of this person's videos. So I'll pay £5 a month to not have ads on this person's videos. I feel like that would be a better model if they actually were doing it for the creators. But obviously they're not doing that. They don't care about that. I don't think they care about that very much at all. I'm missing your comments. Oh, $12.99 for a single subscription. And so expensive compared to Sky or Netflix. Yeah, I mean, we don't have Sky anymore because it was just getting crazy. Oh, you just got VR, MetaQuest 3, getting into VR games and watching movies on VR cinema screen. I was going to say my brother, my son, has got VR MetaQuest. And I played it a little bit, but I really need to like give it a better go. Oh, you're watching on YouTube Premium now. Interesting. I prefer to use Patreon for creators I really like. They get more of the money. Yeah. So Emma and I were talking about this because our Not a podcast is coming back this week. And we were saying it's a thing that we could do. You know, I've talked a little bit about, or you may have seen me talk about it, I think mostly on my vlog channel, how if you mix up the content a little bit too much, it kind of does you a disservice on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't know what your content is. It doesn't know, like, if I talk to you about this today and then tomorrow I talk about makeup and then the next day I talk about cars, they'll be like, who is this person? Like, who are we recommending these videos to? Because we don't even know what this channel is. We don't know what its content is. So the more you mix up your content, it's hard to be like a variety channel. The more you mix up your content, the more chance you have of kind of destroying the audience that you've built, because YouTube doesn't know who to recommend you to. So with that in mind, we were kind of talking a little bit about maybe we should put the podcast behind a paywall, because then only subscribers, only members will watch the podcast or have the podcast. Maybe at the end of the month we put it out, I don't know. But only those people would have it, and it wouldn't mess with anything. It wouldn't mess with like what's the, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I start talking about Only Murders in the Building, which is what we want to talk about, YouTube's going to be like, what is this channel? What is this? People find us through talking about Only Murders in the Building. They're not going to hang around for makeup stuff. They're not going to hang around for vlogs. They're not going to hang around for lives like this. It kind of muddies the water. And so we were talking about maybe doing a membership model just for the podcast. And then we were like, I just don't know whether or not, it just, I don't know, it feels icky to ask people to pay extra for something. I mean, truly, I don't think we will make, I think we'll make more money leaving it with ads than we will with a membership. But then we were like, well, maybe with Patreon. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. But it is the whole thing of like paying more for something that has been free for so long just doesn't make me feel good, honestly. But Patreon was one of the things that we were looking at. Anyway, I'm ready now. I'm ready. I'm feeling pretty good about this amount of makeup that I've got with me in my little bag, just to run through it in case anyone is interested. Did I put something back in there? I did. See, that's the problem. As I was getting ready, I was throwing things back in the drawer, which was not the idea. So I had, first of all, where's the oil? The Pixie Vitamin C priming oil, the NARS, what is this called? Pure Radiant Tinted Moist. This is fantastic, and it's got SPF 30, I think. Yeah, it has. The colour I am is Terra Nerve. Then what else did I do? I did 2 blushes, but I think I'm just going to take the one with me. The Hydromaniac from Urban Decay in Wrecked. I might take a powder blush, but I don't think I will, because it's going to be so hot in Hong Kong. It's just going to be like drenched all down my face. I don't think I'm going to do it. The Beauty Pie Quick Contour Super Gel. I do need to like get some paper and actually twist that closed again and clean it up a bit, because it's such a mess. Then I've also got this concealer, the YSL Touche Clay High Cover. This is a concealer. It's not the original Touche Clay, which is a highlighter pen. This is actually a concealer. I like it, but I don't like the packaging. It's a mess. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in taupe. I've also got the Merit, I think it's called 90s Brow. Volumizing Pomade. I think it was called 90s Brow in blonde. I've got my lash curlers, which is from Tweezerman, the Lancome Lash Idole, which has been sent to me many times, but I have now purchased it as well. I think it's amazing. No crumbles, no nothing. I have got a lip balm, but I didn't put it on today. The lip gloss I'm wearing is the Dior Lip Maximizer, which I've had for about 300 years. I'm going to take that out with me today. And the powder I used was the Morphe Filter, which I don't think is still available. Oh, and I also used the Flawless Beauty Primer initially, which is kind of like a luminous, sheeny kind of primer. And that is everything I need. I think the only brush that I needed, I used obviously my beauty blender. The only brush that I needed was for the powder, which is this one. And that is everything. I think that's a good amount. That's like, it's kind of, I did do eyeshadow, but I'm not going to take eyeshadow with me because that's just crazy. So no, I may take a liner. I'll see how I'm feeling. If your son loves Star Wars, get Vader Immortal. You get to travel to Darth Vader Fortress and meet him. That is cool. We did get a Star Wars game. I can't remember what it was. We only played a little bit of it in the very beginning. when he first got it at Christmas. But I should have played it more in these holidays. I should have actually made time to play it. But I really only played it those first few days after Christmas. Oh, how do you feel about RDJ being reused in Marvel? I loved Iron Man. He was my very favourite character. And I love Robert Downey Jr. I don't know how I'm going to feel until I see it. But honestly, I would have been happy with, because they've opened up the what are they calling it? The multiverse. Because they've opened up the multiverse, they could have just brought him back. They could have just brought him back as Iron Man. And I'd have been fine with that, honestly. Anyway, I'm going to go. I've got some couple of bits I need to do before I go out. Thank you for joining me, keeping me company, and just kind of chatting through this random topic. It's always fun. It's always fun. I might need to do more lives. But yeah, thanks so much, and I will see you guys in the next